And because I was thinking more about Jackie's question a little bit about what is it in teaching yoga, then what kind of yoga do you teach, or how would you describe it? And so much of it for me is about connection to first of all, like my own self, the connection to my own inner body. Because if and when I am able to find that connection, what does that offer me in regards to my own well-being, in regards to my abilities to also then find connection to others. I found by practicing a way to be more in touch with my own inner body rather than just my like my limbs and the muscle skin body, that in conjunction with the nonviolent communication practice I do, the two are wedded very well, and my massage practice. So our practice today is continuing to try and foster that connection. And I think it's important to remember that sometimes the mind comes in and it says, it just gets all like, what? No, this isn't, right? We've all been there where we're just kind of like, what? So, when the mind comes in and just gets confused, which is very often, especially currently, we want to try to just quiet the mind and drop into the presence of knowing, which is at a whole different level. And the other piece it asks is that we do try to concentrate, to be there. So let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. I'm just going to mute your microphones for now, so that if there's anything that comes in, any external noise, we won't be distracted by that, since we already have our own internal distractions. And then go ahead and take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. And allow yourself to connect to the earth. And you've been practicing this, oh my gosh, this is such a daily experience for you, I hope, where you do connect to the earth, whether it's seated, but also you might notice sometimes when you're going outside today, how else do you connect to the earth? What are the other senses that connect you to the earth? And oftentimes I know that when I see something, I want to express. And I just sometimes ask myself to let what I feel, see, can I let that actually go into me, into the space of my heart, and land inside of me? So as you have lengthened your spine up towards the sky, you feel this connection to the earth and to the heavens. And you drop your attention into your soft, smooth Ujjayi breath. And stay with that connection for the next few moments. See if you can hold this container. And you might hear, oh, Diego in the background, he's asking me to do something. But even though that is there, can you still allow yourself to drop down, drop into? And this morning, I'm going to also read to you by Mary Oliver, Snow Geese. Oh, to love what is lovely and will not last. What a task to ask of anything or anyone. Yet it is ours, and not by the century or the year, but by the hours. One fall day, I heard above me and above the sting of the wind, a sound I did not know, and my look shot upward. It was a flock of snow geese winging it, faster than the ones we usually see, and being the color of snow, catching the sun, so they were, in part at least, golden. I held my breath as we do sometimes, to stop time. When something wonderful has touched us, as with a match which is lit and bright, but does not hurt in the common way, but delightfully, as if delight were the most serious thing you ever felt. The geese flew on. I have never seen them again. Maybe I will someday, somewhere. Maybe I won't. It doesn't matter. What matters is that when I saw them as through the veil, secretly, joyfully, clearly. At the bottom of your next exhale, let go of controlling your breath. Join your hands together in front of your heart. And we'll sing this morning. Together may we be protected. Together may we be nourished. May our practice have great energy. And may it continue to bring illumination and light to dispel any of the darkness or the heaviness. And may we not hate or dispel one another. So we'll chant Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. Take a deep inhale. Sahana Bhavatu Bhavatu Sahana Punaktu Savidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavarim Tamastu My Vidyashavai Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With your next exhale, you can bow your head to your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. All right, we're gonna want a wall space just for opening up the backs of the calves this morning. We've been maybe just being in bed, which usually takes the feet into plantar flexion, and the calves can be tight from being in plantar flexion all night. So if you'll go ahead and come up to standing, and let's walk over and find a spot at the wall. And let me just see what's going on with this dog. Alrighty. So go to your wall, and you don't have to have your mat there. I'm just using mine because it's easy. And let's go ahead. We're going to step right foot forward, left foot back. Both feet are pointing straight towards the wall. And take a deep inhale while you're there. And as you exhale and you bring the right knee and shin forward, go ahead and walk the hands up the wall. And then can you reach all the way from the crest of the pelvis to the left heel? So you might notice, you might say to yourself, am I doing that? Well, go to the crest of your pelvis on the left and notice, is the crest in your body coming forward? And what happens when you lift the crest of that pelvis on your left, a little more towards the skin, if you can feel a better engagement through the back of your left leg. So I'm going to keep reaching back there, even as I press into my hands, my finger pads, my knuckles. And I want to notice, and this should be a good one, Jackie, too. It's just noticing when the crest of the pelvis wants to fall forward in your body. All right, and then we'll go ahead and step either forward, back, whatever. We're going to take the second side. Right foot back, right foot pointing straight ahead, left foot straight ahead. I can look straight ahead to start, and then with the exhale, bend the front knee, walk your hands up your wall. And from the crest of the pelvis on the right, reach all the way back through the right leg to the right heel. And at the right heel, broaden from the midline of the heel out to both sides. From the midline of the heel, broaden. And yesterday we were working with when we broaden the back of the heel, what happens at the back of the SI joint, between the SI joint and that back, that right iliac. We're practicing deep breathing. Okay, and then we'll exhale, step forward. Now, can we take your forearms to the wall? We'll take, hands in Anjali Mudra. We're going to be in the meaty part of the forearm, and you're going to step both feet back. So again, I just want to notice what's happening at the back of the diaphragm, or we could say at the back of the pelvis. Am I letting my pelvis fall all the way, forward in my body? So how do I lift the abdominal organs towards the back body? We've been working a lot on opening up and under the arms. Wow, still happening. All right, and then we'll step towards the wall. One last thing, we're going to turn around, and we'll be, probably a good, 10 or so inches away from the wall. And you're going to take your hands, place just the palms on the wall. So this is like Tanasana with the hands on the wall. So pressing the hands into the wall, and then beginning to lift at the top of the breastbone. You'll feel as you lift at the top of the breastbone, broaden all the way out, roll the inner collarbone up. The outer collarbone actually rolls down. The arms are in more of an internal rotation here. Triceps. I could tap into my abdominal organs a little here and make sure I have a little tone in the belly, even as I'm pressing into the wall and lifting the heart. And then we'll exhale and release. Okay, great. All right, so let's go back to your spot in your room and finding Tadasana. And let's have your blocks available as well. So bringing your blocks to the top of the mat. I'll turn this down. All right, so I got my blocks. Okay. Hands back in front of my heart in Anjali Mudra. Where's the weight? Where's the weight in your feet? And inhale, lift both arms, Urdhva. Exhale to chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight back in the heels, knees as wide as the ankles. Inhale deeply, exhale, bow forward. Hands can come to blocks. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, lift both arms, Urdhva. Exhale again, chair pose, Utkatasana. The breath is still smooth. Your next exhale, bow forward. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, right foot back. Balancing the weight in the hips. Balancing the weight in your hip joint. So notice the front. Notice the left hip joint. Make it spacious. Make it so that you're in the center. All right, we're going to make a transition to an upright lunge. So, are you reaching down into the left heel? Do you feel from that it travel diagonally through the core of your pelvis, all the way down the medial hamstring to the inner right heel? Inhale, upright. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, left foot back. Again, balancing the weight, reaching down. Can you feel that diagonal that comes through the pelvis and then down the hamstring of the back leg to the inner heel? When you're ready, inhale upright. Arms can either be wide or alongside your ears. Your inhale, arms out. Exhale, gracefully bowing forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale again, chair pose, Badakanasana. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway. Oh no, inhale, straighten the legs, sorry. Exhale, let's step the right foot back. So again, hands can be on the ground, they can be on your blocks. It's just working with this transition. Many transitions, they're in our lives all the time. How do we manage these transitions? So when you're ready, inhale upright. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale again. Exhale, bow. We're going to inhale, step forward. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale, upright. Take the arms up or wide. Your next inhale, the arms out. We're going to exhale, bow forward. And inhale, let's go plank pose. There you are in plank. Your exhale, you're in plank. Inhaling deeply, feel the tone in the belly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Your inhale, plank pose. There, you've landed at plank pose. At the pause, there's your exhale, another inhale, reaching firmly into the hands, rib cage finding the front of the shoulder blades. Feel the belly wrapping all the way around. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time, we're going to inhale plank. Exhale, there you are in plank. Inhale deeply. Exhale, bring the knees down. And then we're going to walk the hands back. And we're going to come around to sitting for a moment. So you're coming around to sitting, and we're continuing. So in that plank, you were feeling, oh my gosh, the tone in the belly, the wrapping all the way around of transversus to help support the abdominal organs toward the spine. Let's do a little more work with this, because in chair pose, we also want that support. So if you'll take your hands behind your thighs and just walk the toes back. So we're not going to arch the low back in this boat pose. So you might either stay right here with the heels lifted, toes on the ground, and work on the wrapping of the deepest abdominal layer from the lower ribs, all the way around from the back body to the front, from the pubic bone up towards the front, that midline, linea albia. You might stay here, or you might lift the lower legs to be parallel with the ground. You might stay here. You might take the arms. Some of you might lift the arms up. Does this remind you of any pose? A standing pose. Some of us, you might straighten the legs. And then we'll take the hands behind the knees, bend the knees, and bring the soles of the feet together. You're just going to come a little forward. There's Badakanasana for a moment. Inhale deeply here. Exhale, one more time. You're leaning back, taking the hands. You're either with just the heels lifted, the lower legs lifted, maybe the arms wide, or maybe up. Maybe the legs straight. And then we're going to exhale, hands behind the thighs, knees wide apart. There's Badakanasana one more time. Okay, good. Can we do one more? So as you exhale, you can take the hands under the knees, lean back, pick up the feet. So you're working at where's the tone in the belly. Maybe the arms. Maybe the arms go wide, maybe they reach up. Feel the abdominal tone here. And maybe the legs. Great. And then last time, we're going to take the hands, bend the knees, and back to just a little Badakanasana. I'm not going to the most intense place. Lengthen up through the spine. Take the hands to the outer knees. Bring them together. And then we're going to take the legs back. And then here, either taking puppy pose, where you walk the hands forward and you have a long spine, or downward facing dog. You pick one of those, puppy or downward dog. So finding this resting place in either downward facing dog or puppy. Great, very nice, excellent. And this is good. Let's go ahead and if you're in downward dog, we're gonna bring the knees down. And if we're in puppy pose, we're gonna walk the hands back. So now we're going to be on all fours. And I'm going to walk, rather than have my knees right under my hips, I'm going to just walk them back slightly. So they're a little behind, probably where they landed if you had been doing downward dog. And we're going to bring the chest to the ground. So inhale deeply. And as you exhale, take the elbow straight back, bring the chest down, bring the whole body, there you are on the floor. So this is a place, like Jackie, if you're having low back pain, you're gonna make these moves, if you're doing them, very, very small. We're gonna take Cobra. So I'm gonna pull the hands back, and I'm gonna be more interested in not how high I go, but more interested in how I lift the chest and draw the hands isometrically back. All right? So inhale, can you connect to the legs? The inner thighs are toned. Exhale, lift up into a baby cobra. And the next exhale, lower. Can you go ahead and stack right hand over the left, resting for a moment, forehead down, or the chin. And so we're going to do a little back vinyasa movement. And so Jackie, I don't know, you could either have a blanket under the belly. You could also be just doing child's pose and lengthening the lumbar. That might be more comfortable. Those of us who are feeling good, we're going to take the arms straight out like a superhero. I'm going to have my head lifted so you can hear me. But you won't have your head lifted. You're going to have your forehead down on the ground. So inhale, tone the inner thighs, feel that tone through the whole leg. And then as you exhale, lift your right arm and your left leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, legs are toned. Exhale, pick up right leg, left arm. Release. One more time. So the inhale, let's just tone the legs. The exhale, pick up right arm, left leg. Releasing down. Inhaling there, toning the legs. Exhale, right leg, left arm. And release. Draw the hands back, make another pillow. Right hand over left, resting the forehead or the chin, and dropping deeply into your breath. Okay, great. Take 2 more breaths, 2 more deep breaths. Notice what's happening at the back of the pelvis, your low back. What's the sacrum doing? All right. And then, I don't know if you know this Makarasana with the hands, and this is an option for some of you. You'll take the hands, they'll go behind the head. Inhale, tone the legs, and exhale, lift the legs and lift the chest and the head. Lower. Inhale, press up to all fours, everyone. And exhale, child's pose. We'll walk back. It's okay with the knees. If the knees aren't happy with this, you don't need to be doing child's pose. You could come around and sit and just bring the knees to your chest and your head towards your knees. We're just taking a few deep breaths. And then we're going to walk the hands back forward. Inhale deeply and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling in downward dog and exhale, step the awkward foot forward. And then the other one. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands, Anjali Mudra. Release the arms. And we're just going to go ahead and grab your blocks. They'll be at the top of the mat. We won't use them. We're going to do Warrior One, but we'll use them in a moment. So while we're at this place, we'll just have them there. But let's go ahead and step right foot back. I'm going to step my right foot back. And the back foot has a slight turnout to it. The front foot is straight ahead. Pelvis is pointing straight ahead. Feet are hip distance. All right, so let's inhale, lift the arms. This is always where I realize my stance is too short. I end up having to lengthen it. I don't know what that is all about. So inhale, reach up through the arms. Exhale, firmly reach from right sit bone, right inner hamstring to right inner heel, and bend the front knee. Warrior One. Lifting through the heart. And then we'll inhale, step forward. Exhale, left foot back. I think what happens is I reach the left foot back as far as I can, but what I realized once I take my arms up is that it would be beneficial for my stance to be a little longer. I don't know what your experience is. But on the second side, back foot is turned slightly out. Front foot is all the way forward. And then we'll inhale, take both arms up. So here, before I bend my front knee, I'm going to strongly reach from the left sit bone, left inner thigh, all the way back to the left heel. And then bend the front knee. So I've got a lot of lengthening back, even as I reach up through the top of the breastbone, up through both arms. Yeah. Breathing deeply. And then you can take the arms wide and step forward. And there you are, Tadasana, mountain pose. And now we're going to take this to Tanasana. So let's go ahead and step right leg back. So again, the back foot has a slight turnout. Let's inhale the arms out. And exhale, both legs straight. You're bowing forward. Hands can find your blocks. And then and I don't know, you find whatever your end range seems to be. And then with the next exhale, can you go ahead and continue releasing the top of the breastbone towards the middle breastbone, the top of the lungs, turning more inward. Releasing your head, releasing the back of the neck. In this pose, there is a real bowing forward. I feel so much humbleness as I bow in this pose right now. And I could direct that humbleness even towards the earth and towards my awe and my love. Okay, and then we're gonna start to lift the torso. And then reach strongly into the back leg and the front. Reach the front foot down firmly to bring yourself up. Step forward. And then step your left leg back. So I do have, the back foot has a very slight turnout. When you're ready, we'll inhale the arms out wide. And exhale, begin to bow forward. And you might, Ingrid, you might step your back leg a little to the left, a little more to your left, so your stance will be a little wider. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And when I'm in Purvottanasana, when I am bowing forward, can I go ahead and release the chest, release the front of the heart, release the tops of my lungs, allow myself to turn inward, just like the earth, that turning in. And I don't know for sure, Lise, but I do wonder whether that you've completely let go at the base of the skull. All right, and then to come up, you're going to start to make that transition where you lift the torso, and then you strongly reach into the front leg, pressing down, coming up, and then stepping forward. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale to chair pose, Utkatasana. Remember the tone in the belly that you were using in Navasana. And then we're going to inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale the arms wide. All the way down. And we're going to take Vrikshasana, tree pose. Standing on the right leg. So if you want to be close to a wall, you'll be the left side of your body will be close to a wall. And then just giving you people a moment if they're transitioning to a wall spot. So they'll use the left knee at the wall. And then when we're ready, we're going to draw, remembering from the right outer hip all the way towards the midline, towards the core of the pelvis, to unweight the left, and bring your left foot up. Arms in any position. See if you can bring the gaze straight ahead. And then we'll release. And we're headed towards the second side, left leg. So as you begin to shift to the left and you draw from the skin to the bone, all the way to the midline, you feel the inner thigh tone of the left leg, how that reaches you down into the ground as you unweight the right. Arms in any position. Oh, ignore the ringing. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and release. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale to chair pose. All right, and then we're going to inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, release both arms. Mountain pose. Okay, and now we're going to come down. I want you to have 2 blocks. I don't know, some of you might need more than 2 blocks, but we're going to sit for a moment in Malasana. So I'm going to bring my 2 blocks, I'm going to stack them on top of each other. We're going to take a couple different versions of Malasana. So for when I do the second version, I'm going to have my strap available. So I'll have that up to the side. When you come down to sitting on your blocks, can you bring your feet toward each other? And my heels are behind, they're back towards my block. If my heels aren't on the ground, then I'm going to want to put something under them so I can feel the ground. So I could either take a blanket, a towel, a washcloth, something that I can fit between my blocks and my heels, just so I have something to reach my heels into. All right, and then with the feet toward each other, I'm going to take my knees wide apart and take the hands into Anjali Mudra. So my knees are apart and my arms, I'm going to take them inside of my knees. I'm still just trying to stay grounded through my heels. And here, I want my back body to be broad. Let the back body be broad. And I know for me, I'm working pretty hard right now. Can I also take a moment to feel, again, similar to Tanasana when we were bowing forward, a humbleness, a broadness across the back of my body, an expansiveness. Where is the iliac crest? Can I bring it back in my body? And what happens when I do? Take the crest of both ilia back. Okay, and then we'll come back up. We'll walk the feet forward so that the ankles are a little in front of my knees. And we're going to take a twist. We'll go towards your left. So if you'll bring your left hand across, right hand, I might just come around because I don't have anything high enough probably to put my right hand on. If there's something back there, you could add it. We're just taking a little twist towards your left or wherever you are. But if you're turning towards, say, your left, bring your attention to the back of the sacrum on the left, and broaden all the way across from the left greater trochanter all the way towards the sacrum. And then we're going to come back to center. I did have something. I found something behind me to put my hand on. Do you have anything back there you could stick your hand on? Maybe just the edge of the block. So let's go to the second side. Maybe I'll scoop forward on my block. And that way, when I take this, go the second way, I can take the back hand onto that edge. And the front hand, I don't have to go all the way across. I can just use my hand at that outer knee because I'm not looking for the deepest twist. But if you're turning towards the right, from the right greater trochanter, that outer hip, all the way across toward the back of the sacrum. Can you let go back there? Let it broaden. All right, and then come back to center, okay? So it's just a little twist. And then I want to offer the other version of Malasana. We're going to use our strap for this. So I'm going to walk my feet back. And again, I can, if my heels don't touch the ground, I can put a blanket, as I have here, underneath the heels. If my heels touch the ground, I don't need to worry about having a blanket there. I'm going to take my strap and I'm going to bring it around the back of my body and across the top of the pelvis, not on the lumbar spine, but across the pelvis. And then I've got the tails of the strap out here in front of me. I'm going to take my knees wide, bring my arms between my legs. I have to internally rotate my arms and then reach back to grab onto the strap. So here, again, where the strap comes across the body, can you reach into that strap? So my knees are apart, my feet are together, and I broaden me back into the strap. I feel it across the top of my pelvis. And then I'm going to release and come back up. All right, take my strap, move it out of the way. I'm going to come off of these two blocks and just take a seat on the ground. Straighten both legs and give my knees some love, my legs some love. Okay. And then let's take Marichasana Three. In Marichasana 3, we'll go ahead and bend your left leg. So left foot's on the ground. You're going to take left hand behind you and either taking hand, inner elbow, or outer elbow as you twist toward your left. Make sure that your left shoulder is not coming up to try to plug your left ear. And can you drop the felt sense into the back of the sacrum on the left side? Broaden at the back of the sacrum, all the way across. And then lastly, as the torsos turn toward your left, turn your head back, your gaze back towards your big toe. And then we'll release that to center. Straighten that leg, second side. All right, so right hand behind you. Either left hand is just grabbing onto to the outer right knee, or it's inside of the elbow, or the outside of the elbow. Making sure my left shoulder is not trying to reach up to your right shoulder, sorry. Reach up to try to get to the right ear. And at the back of the pelvis on the right, broadening. The back of the sacrum, broad. Lengthening those fibers. Maybe lengthening through the holes, those foramen in the sacrum. How do you make them with your felt sense just a little more open, a little different shape? Lastly, we'll turn the gaze back to look at the big toe. And then we're going to exhale and come back to center. We'll straighten both legs again. Okay. Can we take another twist? This one, we're going to sit up on a block. I'm going to take, well, here's what it's going to look like. Let me show you. I'm actually we're going to take Gomukhasana legs with a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to have my block on the lowest setting behind me. Some of you might want another block or a blanket. And I'm going to take my left ankle to the right side of the block, right over the top of the left. And I'm going to sit with Gomukhasana legs. So I have my right on top of my left as best can be. Can you take your strap, is it handy dandy? And can you put the strap, a little loop in the strap? And can you put your right foot into that loop? Just so it's there. And then it's going to go behind you off to your left. And then you're going to bring right hand behind you to grab the strap and the left hand across. So it doesn't need to be the deepest twist. But I can be a little more curious about the back of the sacrum on the right, broadening. And then we'll come back to center. And take the strap off my foot. And switch sides. So the right leg's going to go on the bottom. And as I bring my left leg across, I could put the strap on my left foot there if I want to, so I've got it. And then I'm going to stack my knees in midline as best I can. This strap goes behind me. I'm going to reach it with my left hand. And then the right hand across to the outer left thigh. There's a little more weight on the right side of my pelvis. And can you grow up out of the spine? Bring the felt sense from the left greater trochanter all the way across the glute, the left sacrum. Okay, and then we're going to release that. We'll take the strap off. And then we'll come down off the block and onto the ground with both legs straight. Both legs straight. So there's this moment of Dandasana. But let's take the hands back and point the fingers forward. Lengthen out the balls of the feet. Good, and then release that. All right, let's come down onto the ground. And let's take dead bug pose for a moment. So in dead bug, you might have the hands at the back of the thighs, maybe the shins, maybe the little toe side of the foot. And you're gonna please check in with yourself, like what's a good distance for your feet to be away from each other right now? At the back of the sacrum, if you want the sacrum and that part of the pelvis to be broad, what width is best for you right now to have the feet apart? That feels like the right place. Kind of like when you notice the birds and the beauty, and it's just like that moment, the right place at the right time. All right, and then we're going to release that and roll over to one side, and we're going to set up for just a little reclined pranayama. So in this pranayama, if you'll take one of your blankets and fold it in half lengthwise, so that'll go across your mat. And so if you're having low back pain, that's probably enough height. Some of you might like one more blanket stacked on top of that. And I stair step it about an inch back. Then I like to have a pillow of some sort. It could be a blanket, it could be an actual pillow. We're gonna have the legs straight. And you're gonna just come up, you're gonna sit on the ground, lie back over your stack, make sure your sacrum isn't pinned against the blankets. Oh yeah, I had another little thought, but we're gonna do it this way. And we'll make room for the arms to be in a comfortable position. It could be cactus pose. And here, drop into your breathing. And let's bring the breath up into the rib cage. So inhaling up the ribs, up the side ribs. So starting at the bottom of the ribs, side ribs on the inhale, and just bringing the breath up, rib by rib by rib. The exhale is smooth. If you notice that you're doing some belly breathing, if you're feeling your belly expanding, draw the breath into the ribs, bring the inhale into those side ribs, climbing up the side ribs one by one. some of you did this practice with me earlier this week, and you might notice that some of that opening from practicing this week has stayed with you. And maybe you're finding that on the inhale, as you climb rib by rib of the side body, that this is climbing up higher than it did, or as high as it did after we had practiced for a while the other day. So you might note that. All right, and then let's go ahead and bend one knee at a time. We'll roll over to one side. Use the arms to press yourself up. I'm actually going to turn around towards my stack. And now I'm going to create a little different, and you don't have to do this, but for Savasana, here's another option where I'm going to open one of my blankets up. And I'm going to put another one just like it on top with a little tiny stair step back. I might have enough blankets that I can go higher. So I'm making my little leg patio. And then for Savasana, I'm going to take that shape. And of course, you can still have a blanket under the head, just so the forehead and the chin. I don't want the chin to be higher than your forehead. But just taking the time to make a nice supported shape for Savasana now. Oh, to love what is lovely and will not last. Of anything, or no, what a task to ask of anything or anyone, yet it is ours, and not by the century or the year, but by the hours. One fall day, I heard above me and above the sting of the wind, a sound I did not know, and my look shot upward. It was a flock of snow geese, winging it faster than the ones we usually see, and being the color of snow, catching the sun, so they were in part at least golden. I held my breath as we do sometimes, to stop time when something wonderful has touched us, as with a match which is lit and bright, but does not hurt in the common way, but delightfully, as if delight were the most serious thing you ever felt. The geese flew on. I have never seen them again. Maybe I will someday, somewhere. Maybe I won't. It doesn't matter. What matters is that when I saw them, I saw them as through the veil, secretly, joyfully, clearly. And allowing your breath to begin to deepen. And beginning to bring movement to your body. Begin to make the mindful transition over to one side. And staying connected to your breath. So at the bottom of the next exhale, you use the arms to press yourself back up to sitting. And then bringing your hands together in front of your heart, feeling the hands as they touch each other. Feeling the back of your body as it wraps around you, all the way through the arms to the hands. So may we take this connection to ourselves, feel the connection to the earth through our feet, but also through the pores of our body. And may that make it easier for us to be present, to listen, to find connection. And to keep the heart open. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Ellie's being bathed in the beauty of light right now, right there. There's so much, it's such great light coming in on you.